Hi, I'm Patricia and welcome to my live video. I had so many titles for this video and so much to say, but I'll stick with two topics I think, and that's going to be stop living in fear and the power of love, the power of touch. Well, it's kind of three, isn't it? But anyway, these topics have been preying in my mind day and night, this week and before, and they've been invading my dreams, so much so I actually thought I'd done this video, only to waken up, of course, and think, well, I haven't actually done the video yet. But I'm determined to get this message out to you. Now, I know we're into February and you might think, well, I'm too late to say Happy New Year, but I've been speaking to so many people who found January very difficult and even draining. So I decided to cheer everybody up and I did a blog asking you to treat January as a trial run and just start your new year on the 1st of February, like the Chinese New Year. And of course, this is the Chinese Year of the Tiger. So I want you to be bold, strong, and brave, particularly after listening to this, you find yourself in the fear camp. So if you're listening, of course, to my YouTube videos, please subscribe. I'm really grateful of that. I'm trying to increase my subscribers. Now, over the last couple of years, you've heard me talk often about fear and its devastating effect on your health, and I make no apologies for doing so again, as I'm finding more and more people are not just frightened, but they're scared. They're living in fear, and living in fear is not living. When fear overwhelms you, you feel as if there's nothing you can do about it. Fear causes stress, worry, anxiety and depression. You feel helpless, vulnerable, powerless and weak. You panic. Thoughts fill your head to exploding and you start even thinking, what's the point? And having spoken to many elderly people, this was and is how many are feeling, particularly during lockdown. What's the point? Their hearts were broken, not seeing their loved ones. Their mental health was affected and this impacted on their immune system. Now, it's not surprising that many become ill or became ill, and we may never know, but I believe that some may have died of a broken heart. If you feel paralysed by fear, it's not usually from any tangible danger, but from your internal thoughts and feelings. This is the fear I'm talking about just now, but I'm here to help because no matter when fear strikes, you need to be able to calm down, and you can do this by using my ABC. Now, the particular type of fear today that I'm talking about is the fear that strikes you when you hear the word, no, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to give any more thoughts to it, but you know what I'm talking about. You've been hearing this word multiple times a day, a week, over the last 2 years, since 2020, since this all started, or we heard about it in March 2020. Because I'm talking about the fear of you know what, I thought many of you, well, I know that many of you might not agree with what I'm saying, but I remind you, it's my opinion, and of course we're all entitled to our own opinions. All I ask is that you listen with an open mind. And I'm going to start with a couple of stories. You know how I love stories. I'm going to take a sip of tea. Now, way back in late 2019, early 2020, I returned from wonderful Oz on a long-haul flight. Now, not long into the flight, all the passengers seemed to be suffering some kind of breathing difficulties. The passenger next to me had an inhaler, and of course I asked her if she had asthma. She said no. She said, I travel to see my daughter often in Australia, and my doctor has given me the inhaler because it helps if there's problems with the air conditioning or the air pressure. But we decided to ask a flight attendant, are there problems with the air conditioning? But nobody could really give us an answer. But they too started to look as if we just all couldn't wait to get off this flight. Now you might recall that I told this story because on this flight, just as we landed, the flight attendants were taking away all your earphones, and one of them whipped my earphone out of my ear, and off it went with my earring. And of course this earring actually was the ashes of my gorgeous son, Bruce. Now, the couple next to me were really kind. They said, look, we'll try and look for it, but it's a tiny earring, and of course it had flown across the cabin, and I said to the flight attendant, could they look? Oh no, they said that's the cleaners. I'd need to contact the cleaners. But the way we were all feeling, everybody, we were just exhausted, we wanted home, and of course fortunately I was landing in Glasgow, so I just wanted home. So what did I do? I turned the negatives into positives, and I just started to imagine Bruce flying around the world, visiting all the destinations he would love. Now for story 2. That first story was, remember, 2019, early 2020. Now this is fast forward to 2022. 2022 is not gone to plan. At the start of every year, a friend and I say to each other, this is our year. And this year was no different. I said to myself, this is my year. However, I was rather embroiled in marking examination papers to a tight deadline. And in fact, I did a couple of all-nighters. Now, some of you might remember doing these, but on hindsight, and isn't hindsight wonderful, these all-nighters took their toll, because last week I was floored. Oh, I thought, what was going on here? And of course, it was fortunately, it's only lasted a week, I'm all right now, but it was a tummy bug. But guess what? When I told people that how I was feeling, nearly everybody, well, I would say everybody, used the word, yes, you know what it is. Oh, you've got. I said, no, I haven't. I've got a tummy bug. So it just seems that every time that we've got a sniffle or there's anything, we're told, oh, that's what you've got. And of course, when you're told this, it affects your mind, and you start thinking, even panicking. And I know my body, so I used my ABC all week. I decided tummy bug. I took general medical advice, and it said just plenty of rest and fluids. So I did. I lay in bed. I've lain in bed really all week, just getting up, getting fluids, and what else would I do? Doing my ABC. And just, if I'd listened to everybody, I would have panicked as well. And it goes across your mind, oh, I wonder. And I thought, no, I'm fine. It's a tummy bug. It's so sad that people are still obsessed with you-know-what. But I knew it was definitely a tummy bug. And of course, I sent smiles to my tummy. Now, you might laugh at me. I'm a bit off the wall anyway. But I highly recommend sending smiles to anywhere in your body that aches. It works wonders. It changes your mindset to being positive, and you don't disappear down a rabbit hole of anxiety. It might sound silly, but sending a smile costs you nothing. So try it. I even have friends sending me smiles. So it's like group smiles. It's a bit like the group hugs. Now, speaking to my lovely 90-year-old people, they too are finding it difficult, and they think that all the news is just scaring everybody. They've been saying to me, why are we just being scared? What happened when there was a flu epidemic? What happened when we just had a cold? Part of me wishes that this word, you know what I'm talking about, had never been used, and instead maybe, I don't know, a form of flu. I don't think there would have been as much panic. Now, of course, having the illness was very serious for some, and that there were deaths. In fact, a good friend of mine was seriously ill and on ventilator for weeks, but thankfully survived and is recovering slowly. Now, I'm by no means minimising the effects that the word I'm not going to mention, has had on many. Many, too many have died, but so too have people died of heart attacks, strokes, cancer and other health issues. And I believe that the effects of this word, I'm just not going to give it so you're not listening to this all the time, has had on individuals, has masked other symptoms or other health issues, such as cancer, and therefore maybe delayed diagnosis. I'd personal experience of someone close at death's door for many weeks. My close friend, who's like a brother, he was hospitalised and on a ventilator for weeks, and his wife was also hospitalised, but not as serious and not on a ventilator. She was discharged from hospital, and the hospital later decided to send her husband home, and it was obvious after just a few hours that she couldn't physically help him at all. So of course he was returned to hospital to stay for quite some time. Now, some family members were really angry that he'd been released from hospital, but this brings me to the next point of my video, the power of love, the power of a bond. I knew that my friend needed the comfort of a hug, the comfort of a connection with his wife, and I've no doubts that going home and having a connection, how short it didn't matter, but the touch and bond of love gave him the inspiration and motivation to not just survive, but be well enough to be released. And of course he has been released, and he's recovering slowly at home. I never underestimate the power of touch and connection. You might now be getting the gist of this rant. I know from speaking to many elderly people that their mental health was at an all-time low, not being able to meet up with family or friends. I could see the fear in their eyes. When you did even look at the news of the elderly in care homes, you could almost feel that pain and fear. They were isolated from their loved ones, and isolated even from the touch of carers who were all dressed up in PPE outfits and masks, and you couldn't see faces. Frightening for anybody. I've experience of some of them actually saying to me, "What's the point?" I will never forget, and I'm sure lots of you will never forget, our lovely Queen, the head of state, sitting in black, all alone at the funeral of her husband. And I got to thinking, she must have had somebody in her bubble. I can't remember all the rules now, but way back then, they changed so much. But I thought there must have been somebody in her bubble that could have sat, maybe not right beside her, but socially distancing. Maybe they could have had, talking about connection, maybe they could have had maybe a scarf of her lovely husband, and she had one end, and the friends in her bubble with the other end. It would have been so wonderful to have somebody there with her, and I'm sure this could have happened. But I also know, as head of state, the Queen would not have done this, because she knew people would have said, why was she allowed to do something like that when they weren't, and they can't even go to the funeral of friends or loved ones. Worse still, of course, now is knowing that parties were taking place in the higher echelons of the government, and that's making people angry, knowing that they couldn't visit their loved ones in hospitals or care homes. Seems to be just double standards. Of course, I was reading recently there's research. This continues to highlight the devastating impact of lockdown measures on mental health. We may never know the true figures, as everything is just put down to you know what. This research is no surprise to me. I'm not a medical professional or a scientist, but I am expert in the power of the mind and the power of touch. So another wee story here. Many, many years ago, I used to visit a mental health facility, and on each visit there was a lady who just sat rocking back and forward and screaming. I mean, it was high-pitched screaming. It was so sad to see, and I know people round about her had obviously got used to it, but everyone just left her alone. And on this occasion I thought, I'm just going to go over, and I sat down beside her, and all I did was take her hand in mine. And suddenly the screaming stopped, and she looked up at me calmly with a smile. What a transformation. I needed no further proof of the power of touch. And of course, I know it would have been great. I know it would be great if we could have one-to-one care for everybody, but I know that this isn't possible. But even a passing touch or a hug. You all know I love to talk about giving hugs, of course, and in lockdown these became virtual hugs. And one video I told you to hug yourself. You probably remember it, you know. I showed you how to do it, and it was all a bit creepy. But looking back, try it again, because you feel the heat of your hands. You can feel it now in your arms around you. This is energy, and it's like Reiki, or Reiki, R-E-I-K-I. Wonderful. Many people live alone, and if you do, you should learn to give yourself a hug. I guarantee you will feel better. Just as for 2 years and more I've been telling you to stop constantly listening to the news, I continue to recommend this, because all it does is get people afraid, scared, overwhelmed. Anxious minds race with what ifs, what ifs, what if it's me? The news even manages to put a negative spin on the sight of nature's beautiful snowdrops and crocus, telling us it's too early, it's a sign of global warming. Now, again, I know we all have to do our bit for global warming, but please allow the little bit of nature when you're out walking to inspire and motivate you. When I was under the weather this week, I've not managed to go out and do my Pat's Pups Park walks. That's quite difficult to say. Pat's Pups Park walks. But I will be doing my live videos next week. I'm feeling much better. Tummy bug has gone. I'm started just eating a little, still resting and taking fluids. So I hope to see nature springing into life next week. And this gives us some hope. I also saw a post which I think is very apt on social media this week. And it says it all. When you replace why this is happening to me with what is this trying to teach me, everything shifts. You need to stop having this what if mindset. You can't control everything. Yes, you might get ill, but also you might get knocked down by a bus. You might be struck by lightning. Your house might be struck by lightning. The only thing you can do is, if you've got any control over anything at all, then you take care of yourself. And of course, this is what we've been doing, and we still do, wearing masks. But remember, you are accountable and responsible for your actions and behaviour. Here's another wee story, because I quite like this one. This is a friend, I was reading on my screenwriter's social media, and he's producing a film, which is wonderful, but he made the decision that he wasn't going to use masks. And when he was explaining this, he said, when my film is seen by others in maybe months, years to come, I don't want the whole film to be people asking about, why are they all wearing masks? So sadly, we know there will be reminders of this for many years to come. But for now, all I see is, I want you to change your mindset. Fear's affecting everyone, even our young people too. I was listening to my grandchildren. They were telling me that if someone even has a slight sniffle, they're saying, oh, you've got. And they start chanting in the playground about, you've got, and I'm not using the word. I'm fed up hearing about it. What did we do when it was flu season? And of course, we learned recently that the chosen word for young people. Oh, I'll say a wee hello to David. Lovely to have you join me, David. A wave. What was the chosen word by young people this week? I think it was released at the beginning of the year for last year. What was the most, they were asked to choose a word. What was the word they chose? Anxiety. Isn't this sad? It's so sad that they're living in such a state that this is their chosen word. What young people should have been learning, and should still now be learning, is how to be resilient. And of course, also the importance of being accountable and taking responsibility for their actions and behaviour. Oh, I have so much I want to say, as you can tell. I've said it in my dreams, and I've probably forgotten much of what I was going to say, because it's rattled around my head all week. I know some of you will be agreeing with me. Some of you have already worked at letting go of past conditioning, because that's what it's all about. Fear. You've been past conditioned to be frightened, and some of us more frightened than others. Many people are so scared, and they're the what ifs people. So you can go back and listen to my podcast and blogs, and I think I've done videos on past conditioning. Why? Because past conditioning has made these people into the what ifs people, the negative people. Worse still, those that catastrophize everything, blow everything out of proportion. I've been conditioned too, just like you. But from birth, I've managed to work through it, but we've all been conditioned from birth, from our parents, our carers, our teachers, our religious leaders, authority figures, and during these times over the last 2 years, the conditioning is coming from on high, from the government. So much so, it seems that many of us, not all of us, but many of us no longer are able or willing to think for ourselves. Past conditioning holds you back. Think about what you were told when you were young. It might be, you'll not make anything of yourself. I mean, I've had this said to me. Or, don't play outside, oh, you'll get hurt. Don't go there, this will be frightening. So many don'ts. And so many don'ts, you live your life frightened to do anything new. But the good news is that you can actually let go of past conditioning. But it's not easy. And that's why I made a decision while I was resting and taking plenty of fluids. I decided I'm going to start and use my wellness series of books. I've got 10 of them. And I wrote them many years ago actually now, and I've used them in workshops, etc. But I've decided that I'm going to start a Be Healthy with Mind Circles Academy. And I'm going to use the program, the Academy programs. I use my books. There's 10 of which are in the Wellness series. I might add to them. And of course, I thank everybody who's already bought these booklets. They're on my website. But the first program to kickstart the Academy and your journey will be on self-awareness. You might think you know yourself. We all do. But really, do you? Because to know yourself, you've got to let go of past conditioning. You have to challenge your beliefs, your thoughts. Are the beliefs yours or those of others? Talking about self-awareness and even sharing your thoughts is not enough. What you need is to work hard. Anything worthwhile takes hard work. So when you join the Be Healthy with Mind Circles Academy, you will get the videos that I'll post up, regular videos. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of tea. I'm talking too much this morning. But when you join, you'll get regular videos. And of course, you can, I'm hoping it might be like an 8 month, whatever. I don't know how long. But you'll be able to go at your pace with the support and guidance of my videos. And of course, I'm here to answer questions. So look out for more information on the Academy. So here are some tips if you feel afraid or when you feel that panic rising. Start using these tips and become the best you can be and live life to the fullest. You don't know what's round the corner. The first one is stop the negative self-talk. Start positive self-talk. Stop listening to negative comments from others and use my the A for affirmations. I feel good. Write it on a post-it note. It doesn't need to be something difficult. I have it this week. I had to lie when I was relaxing going, I feel good. Now, I wasn't, but I was saying, I feel good. And of course, while I was doing that, and I'll talk later just in a short while about the ABC, but a quick post-it note, very, very short. Give yourself a hug. Be kind to yourself. Turn negatives into positives, like my earring story. Be like a tiger, now bold and strong. This is the year of the tiger. And you don't need to be someone who's been born in the year of the tiger. We can all be bold, strong and brave. You need to face your fears. You're stronger, bolder and braver than you realise. Life is a constant journey, constantly changes. You know, there's so many changes. You don't know what's round the corner. So you need to build resilience so you can face whatever change life throws at you. Change takes effort. It takes effort to change, but only you can change you. I know that so many of us wish we could change some friends, wish we could change maybe our partners. You can't. You can only change you. But life is a work in progress. Don't miss out on life by constantly worrying about what if and what might never happen. Live life to the fullest. Remember my story about my elderly friend diagnosed with cancer. I told this story during lockdown. She was told she would have about 6 months to live. A lovely, lovely friend. But she saw the best in everything. She took on a positive attitude, and I have no doubt that positive attitude extended her life, because it extended her to 6 years. 6 years. So it's not a cure, but your mindset being positive can help you do whatever you're doing in a better way, and it extended her life to 6 years. I remember she used my ABC regularly. Now, I don't know how I would be if I was diagnosed, but I hope I would be like my friend. So I'm going to kind of sign off. This is maybe a bit of a longer video, and but I want to say to you now, be like a tiger. Be bold, strong and brave. Remember the power of the mind. Develop a positive attitude of mind. Remember, only you can change you. So, for today, what's your affirmation going to be? Well, I think it could be, I am like a tiger, bold, strong and brave. Or it might just be, I am strong, I am bold, I am brave. Now, anything short, just as a quick reminder, it turns your mindset around. And of course, while you're saying this, you do your breathing. And that's what I was doing during the week with my I feel good. And as I was saying it, I was doing my deep breathing. And of course, it's easier to do your deep breathing actually when you're lying down. So if you find it difficult. The deep breathing exercises, this exercise, it reduces and even prevents anxiety and stress. It relaxes and calms you, but it also energizes you. Now, I talk about this in my blog, and I'm going to repeat it here because this was important to me, and I get kind of frustrated and angry when I hear of something that really could be good for people, and you only hear about it once. And the first time was, I think early in lockdown, there was a very short video, I think it was of a consultant and a nurse, showing people how they could increase their lung capacity, which was essential, it was vital when we were hit by you know what. And of course, what was it? It was my deep breathing exercise. And I often wondered, why was that not shown every day? Why was it not shown to everybody? And of course, I've been proved that it's helpful because Cambridge University have carried out a study. Now, it's a short study. I think there's only 37 people just now. But one of the ladies, they've designed a special scan that shows how good or not poor your lung capacity is. And this lady was shown her scan, and didn't really mean much to me, but clearly it was showing, she was told that her lung capacity needed to be increased. So she was sent for exercises. And lo and behold, what was the exercise? My deep breathing exercise. I can't believe this. I just don't know. I should be on every morning just doing a deep breathing exercise. I just can't understand it. And I get so angry and frustrated. And it's a simple exercise. And why would you not want to increase your lung capacity? I was doing it all the time this week as I relaxed in bed along with my affirmations. And yes, Dave, thanks very much. I'm feeling better and I can't wait to get out again. Yes, I'll do my Pat's Pup Park walks next week. So for today, so that was our A. I am bold, I am brave. You're breathing, remember, from the diaphragm. I'm breathing in here, none of my shoulders have raised at all, and you hold. You can do it for 3 more if you can, and then slowly exhale through your mouth. That's the deep breathing. And of course, while you're doing your I feel good or I am bold with your breathing, just imagine, use your creative imagination. And I used to do my mind bites meditations, my mindfulness meditations. But all I'm asking you to do today is just imagine yourself in your happy place, your happy, positive place. And of course, you can download my Mind Bites meditations of your choice. There are 3 actually which show you how to do your A, your B and your C, and they're really helpful. I did them because people were telling me they found it difficult. So head off to my website and have a wee look at maybe 1 or 2 of the Mind Bites. When you use my ABC, you calm your mind, you prevent fear from overwhelming you because you're changing your mindset. So I'm just going to say just now, I'm like a tiger, bold, strong and brave. Now, as always, my 2 trademark tips, apart from the smile, sending a smile, which is free to anything, any area of your body. Remember, just smile and laugh. They cost you nothing. And of course, virtual hugs to you all. It's been lovely to be able to chat this morning, a bit longer than usual, but I hope it's sparked something inspiring in you to change your mindset. Stop living in fear. Okay, and have a lovely day. And I will be back soon again with another video. And thanks, Dave, for joining me. And definitely I'm feeling better. I feel good. I feel good. It's almost like a chant, isn't it? Like a mantra. So I'm heading off now. I'm going to have a cup of tea because actually I noticed, I don't think Helen's on just now, but one of my friends, Helen, she's got an essay to do. And she said, I've got 7 hours to do an essay. And of course I messaged her just to say, you can do it. Well, I actually have 3 reports to write. And I think I was going into my wee positive procrastination mood. I'll do this video first because I felt once I've got this all out and I've got my rant over with, I'll be in a better place to start my reports. So here goes. I'm going to I think just shut myself off now and do these reports and get them sent off probably tomorrow. Okay, have a fabulous day, everybody. Virtual hugs to all. Now if I can put this video off now.